the area of opportunities that are bound for us as for everyone, and I mean generally for the youth. How many of us even know 3 or 4 of the SDGs? How many of us know this entry point Sean is talking about? How many of us know the budget of our state? How many of us know, the budget for their health or education? These are questions. I'm not asking us to provide answer right away, but these are questions that we need to begin to ponder upon before the opportunities that are bound with us. And sometimes we don't pay attention to things around us as youths, and we jump on the trend. We jump on what's going on, and we want to comment on every issues. And so it's right time. This is the right time that we need to begin to pay attention as youth to what really concerns the youth. Because in our organization, we said there's nothing about us without us, right? So there's nothing about the youth without the youth. So we need to learn how to pay attention to some of these things so that we can partake of every opportunity that are bound, within us. And so what we have done so far as an organization, in able to achieve these sustainable development goals that we have. We want to start with the SDG, the goal number 4, where we have been able to, create access to education and enroll, over time, over 12,000 learners, between the past 5 years. And, enrolling these learners, yes, as organizations in Bauchi, enroll these learners in local communities, setting up centers, building community structures, graduating these children and mainstreaming them to formal schools. And we've been able to set up policies. Right now, we are in the process of developing more policies in Bauchi. We've developed, domesticated policies able to solve critical issues around education in Bauchi State, and so even in the Northeast. And so we've been able to do that to help in achieving these sustainable development goals. We've been able to empower, our women at the grassroots, setting up economic empowerment programs to help in, alleviating poverty. To solve SDG 1 that said no poverty, right? Zero hunger, which is number 2 as well. And so we've been able to come up with programs that address, this root cause of poverty in our communities. We've been able to build capacity of youth. Right now, we're building capacity. Like Lito just ended a program. We've just ended a program on our youth civic engagement program. That we enroll, close to 150 youth across the Northeast, even beyond, who are, who we are building their capacity on area of accountability, transparency and all that, advocacy and community mobilization. These are ways and manners that we have been able to, enrich our youth to see that they are empowered to ask questions, tangible questions, valuable questions, not insulting, not criticizing just for the sake of criticizing, but to hold government accountable to ask genuine questions that will bring transformation to our communities. We've been able to do all of this to see that we create peaceful coexistence among communities. YLN is very rooted in that. And so these are what we'll be doing, in able to see that we have we have justice for our people. We live in harmony and we coexist in our different communities. And so we've done so much, and we've been engaging with youth and so very well across the Northeast. That makes us to see, as organizations that stand out, around this area to see that we are able to, achieve these goals. And so we've done so much in area of peace building as well, even around Gombe, in the environment. So we've been able to do all of these, and we're building capacity of men who are going to change the narrative, who are going to, shifting the from the norms to what is obtainable, across the world. And so that's how we are mainstreaming these goals, these global goals, into our locality, into our local context, to see that, yes, we are not seeing it, we're not seeing it as their as, we are owning it as individuals. We are training people to own these goals, and so that we're able to mainstream them locally, to internalize them as our own. That is the only way we'll be able to achieve these goals. And so these are some of and few of what we'll be doing around the sustainable goals. Thank you.
Okay. That is actually a lot. Well done to Young Leaders Network and to the Resort Development Initiative. You have been doing well. Looking at what you have been doing so far, Mr. Sharon, how do you think these youths can actually localize this that we have been talking about towards making them relevant for community needs? Earlier on, you have said something related to this, but then I want you to cite a few examples of what you have been doing as an organization to ensure that whatever these youths are doing, what you intend, it gets to the grassroots, and then we can actually say we can measure the outcome or the impact of what you have been doing so far. Mr. Sherwin, sir.
Thank you so much, Faith. So your question on how youths can localize and engage or accelerate the SDGs. Let me start by saying that the SDGs are global goals, right? Sustainable Development Goals, they are global goals, but they are global goals that should be localized. So the first thing I will tell young people is that if you want to engage in any of the SDG goals, right, ground your actions in local realities. Use local data. So it's important that young people look at your community, do a mapping or any kind of survey, either formal or informal, to know what are the SDG targets that are most urgent locally in your communities. Do you need waste management locations? Do you need to deal with this issue of out of school children in your communities? You need to localize your actions. So ground your actions with local realities, right? Then partner with local councils, local organizations, right? Across to do something you want to do. For instance, locally, we have the SBMCs. If you're intervening in school-based management committees, we have WDCs, World Development Committees. We have community-based organizations, community leaders. These are people you can partner with, right, to get your work done. Then another thing I want to share is that if we are to accelerate SDGs locally, we should integrate it. Let's integrate these goals into already existing structures that we have. So do you have some programs you do at community levels as an organization? Look at a way of linking them up with the SDGs. For instance, we do a lot of work on education. So what did we do? We linked it up with goals on education, SDG 4, right? We do a lot of work with on peace building, right? Promoting interfaith dialogues, right? Promoting young people's participation, reducing all of the restiveness issues. What did we do? We linked it up with SDG 16, which is peace, justice, and strong institutions. We do a lot of things, for instance, with women on issues of gender, right? What did we do? Even with people with disabilities. So we link it up with gender equalities and what? Gender equality is SDG 5, and There's this other one, reduce inequalities. That is SDG 10. So you should find a way as young people, right, to integrate the goals into local structures. So SDG work sticks when it is tied into systems that people already trust. So when you're linking them with local structures and local programs that you're doing locally, it's easy to flow. So what do? You should you can push for those structures to be adopted. Like one of the things Mr. Nicholas was mentioning, you can advocate for youth seats in local planning and budget forums so that your youth priorities related to the SDGs can become part of local government and state budgets. Very, very important. We do that a lot. We've been pushing that when local government is doing any budget review, even state level, let young people be part of it. For the first time last year, when Bauchi state government were having the Bauchi South Senatorial District budget town hall, they were not expecting. What we did as an organization was to mobilize our youth accountability advocates from local governments. And already these young people did not come empty. They came with a community charter of demands. And for the first time, the state was surprised that people were already planning and they came with well documented, well prepared community set of demands on behalf of their communities, and we help them to present it to the state government so that it can be included into the state budget. This is one of the ways we can. So you should advocate that those goals, those interventions that you want to implement locally, find a way, right, into these local structures, including local budgets, right? I will also want to say that you might not be able to pick everything. Organizations can pick more than one SDG goals, but as individuals, can you pick one SDG linked service and own it locally? So this will ensure that we have a focused effort, right? And when there is focused effort on an issue in the community, what do? We see visible results and there's credibility for scaling it even beyond your communities. So choose your anchor goal. Like many of us put down on the chat box. If your anchor goal is clean water, that is SDG 6, renewable energy SDG 7, waste management SDG 11, right? Choose one anchor goal. You can even take one indicator. Do you understand? And what do? You pursue it locally. You pursue it locally. Um, let me stop by mentioning these two approaches too. You can build coalitions. Many of us we work in silos. I always say that one group alone cannot achieve the SDGs. The SDGs are too broad. And that's why we are glad to be in partnership with as many organizations as are open to partnership. This program, for instance, is brought to you in partnership with more than one organization. So don't work in silos. Don't work alone. Partner across youth groups, across women associations, across faith-based groups, across small business groups, do joint campaigns, or let's pool resources together, right? And when we do it, let's not take credit alone. Let's share credits and visibility so that coalitions last beyond one project, right? So this one thing I want to share. And the last one is let's leverage on digital tools for scaling. So a lot of times we work, but many of us we work in silos. So if you share your work digitally, right, or or on social media, it's easy for people to buy into and support. And then there is none of these SDG goals that can be driven without having digital connection. So be thinking, what digital skills can I build? And then how can I connect the work I'm doing locally, right, with the global world through digital tools? Thank you. I think I will pause here, Faith.
Okay. So sorry, I lost my connection at a point. Okay, so Mr. Shawan, thank you for that. Though I didn't actually get most of the parts due to a network failure from my end. Mr. Nicholas, we have looked at, so far so good, we have looked at the engagement of youth to ensuring that few of these SDG goals have been achieved and have been localized down to the grassroots level. So how do you think youth can leverage on the innovations we have? Because I can quote from one of your statements where you talk about youth moving with the trend. We don't usually get to have a good hold of information and stuff like that. So we just move with the trend the way it is. So my question now says and goes like this. As youth, how can we leverage the innovations we have? We are looking at technology. How do you think we can actually be creative to address the local challenges and achieve these particular SDG goals that we have been talking about from the onset of this webinar? So we have a lot of innovations. Youth are engaged. We call ourselves youth in tech, women in tech, men in tech. But we realize that sometimes we don't actually use this technology to actually make an impact or address some of the challenges we face. So how do you think we can actually leverage on the innovations and the technologies that we have to see that we achieve most of these things that we have been talking about so far? Over to you, Mr. Nicholas.
Okay, so thank you, Faith. We cannot downplay the role that the youth have played, a very crucial and dimensional role in achieving, our goals, right? And so, not only the largest, demography in our countries today, and so of a truth, in trying to shape and to bring policy in place, youth have played a very, very crucial role in bringing all of these. But again, yes, it's not enough. Just like you said, what role can we equally play? Can the youth play to bring all these sustainable development goals into place, into achievement? And so, innovation and problem solving, I think that's where we should start with. Developing apps, right? Developing new technologies that will address some of these issues that we talk about, renewable energy, waste management, e-learning. And so a lot that have to be done, applying fresh creative approaches to old problems rather, let's be creative in trying to see how we solve some of these issues, right? Such as, digital economy, digital agriculture. I'm talking about agriculture here. Most youth are not even in that sector, right? Most youth are not in that sector. And so this is a sector that we all need to go into. We need to begin to venture into. But how do we do it? Yes, we cannot be doing it just like the way our forefathers have cultivated the land, tilling and using the local input to do that. So the youths they are resilient, they are very brilliant, ideas is with the youth. And so let's find a way to see how we improve, in our agriculture to begin to develop, more input to see how we deal with SDG 2, the Goal 2 rather, so the zero hunger, right? To see that we developed some of these apps that we begin to go into farming. It's another way of achieving this sustainable development goal. So let's be innovative. And so we've done quite a lot as youth, yes, but it's not just enough. Awareness creation, it's another one. So let's begin to sensitize ourselves, just like we are doing today, that it is not enough to just sit back and watch. It is for us to participate. It's for us to be involved. It's for us to not jumping on the trend, like I said from the beginning. But again, let's find a way to create that awareness just like Sheung said, the building coalition is very, very important. I must tell you that when I have an idea and I share, I see way or the other how my accountability partner will help me to panabit it and begin to shaping it into becoming a very good idea, right? So we all have, if you don't, you need to choose one. We all have accountability partner, somebody who you share with. You go on a journey, you discuss on how you improve on family issues. Yes, you can begin to discuss on how you improve on those SDGs that involve that really concerns us. I tell you this, that from the number 1 to number 16, and sorry, 17 of the SDGs are very, very important, and they apply to every one of us. So yes, like Sheung said, choose one or two and focus on that. Yes, I can see there are so many youths today that are, on the climate change, just name it. Is it tree planting? It's about climate change, climate resilience and all of that. So, but let's begin to form partnership within ourselves, because when you share an ideas within a certain group, how you want to improve on certain aspect of life, then it is an holistic idea that you're sharing that everyone will now contribute to make it a concrete one. So let's innovate, let's create awareness, and let's begin to develop apps that that will solve old problems for us, so that we're able to achieve the SDGs. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I love when you said let's be innovative, because looking at the youth that we have, we are actually innovative to an extent, but I feel we are innovative in the wrong sense. We are being innovative on things that will not actually help us to achieve some of the goals that we have, and making the entire nation a better place. Mr. Sharon, can you shed more light on this innovation we have had from Mr. Nicholas? And do you have something more to add on this particular issue of youth using what they have at hand, innovations, technology, and all that, to ensure that we achieve these SDG goals?
Okay, thank you. So like I mentioned, and Mr. Nicholas said, innovation is required if you're to pick up a goal that has a global relevance and bring it locally. That's where our innovation plays out. Are we getting the picture? So you realize that what is being done somewhere in Kano might not work in another place in Taraba, right? But you have seen the idea and you love the idea, and you're seeing the goal, what is achieved with that idea in Kano. What did you come back? So the process of localizing that kind of idea requires innovation. So innovation is very, very important as young people. And when we talk about innovation, we should be asking ourselves the questions like, how do we do this thing in a better way? How do we reduce the cost of doing this thing and maximize the result of getting it done? That's where creativity begins to come up, right? How do we, you start asking, what can I cut off from this thing? What new thing can I add to this thing to add more value to this and also improve on its impact? That's where we begin to innovate. So innovation will be easier if young people will start asking the right questions. It's from asking those questions that we begin to stir up our creativity, right? The curiosity to wanting to know, wanting to do something new. That's where the creativity or the innovation comes in. So I want to encourage us not to be comfortable. Let's not be comfortable with the norm. Young people, let's not be comfortable with the norm. Let's not be copycats, where we copy everything we see and want to come and bring it locally. No, it will not work always. It will not always work, because the context matters. The reason why we're experiencing some serious economic, or let me know, a policy implementation issues in Nigeria is because we are trying to copycat some policies globally without looking at how we localize it to fit into our context. So we go to the IMFs, we go to the WTOs, we go to the World Banks, and they're giving us some policies or what they think should be the best. We shouldn't copy it and come and implement in Nigeria as like word for word. We should rather understand the context, understand the idea, then we come back and review based on our own local context, which means you do proper what? Contextual analysis of those policies. You look at the political implication, economic implication, the environmental implication, the social implications, the technological implications, the security implications. And then one of the process of localizing is also stakeholders engagement. You do robust engagement with the people. For instance, the first subsidy policy, removal policy, if there were robust stakeholders engagement, the impact wouldn't have been what we experienced, right? So we need to also look at it. And then when it comes to national policies, right, that were tickled down, remember there were national policies that came even after the first subsidy removal to help to caution the effects. Those things should have been localized. What is it that will work best in Bauchi? What should work best in Gombe? What is it that will work best in Kaduna? What will work best in Port Harcourt? It should be localized for those states. Not that we pick. One of the things I love from the engagements in some of the foreign countries that are doing well is the way governance is localized. That is the process of innovation. Governance is localized. So, but in Nigeria, governance is nationalized, and that is not that will not benefit the people. The people are closer to the local government. So, if governance and governance effects get to the grassroots, we will see the drastic change. And that is also calling us as young people that we need to pay attention to what is happening in the local governments. How do we expect governance to work for us at local government level when many of us who seems to be educated or who seems to be well aware of what should be done, we run to the cities, we run to the national, or we even run out of the country. And then we leave the local government to those who don't have a clue of what it means to lead, what it means to manage resources. We can't get the results right. We can't get it right. So the process of localizing global concepts, global context, is a process that requires innovation. And that's where we need to employ it in the SDGs acceleration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sharon. He said, let's not be copycat. What works elsewhere may not work where we are. And he also made a point about stakeholders engagement. He made a point about community entry earlier on, our entry point and things around that. So we're looking at local youth actions. We are looking about sustainable development goals. We are looking at how it can be localized, or if it's been localized, how we can make it to be more effective. We're looking at all this. But then, in as much as we're trying to see that these things are being brought down to the local level, most of the time, youth are faced with a whole lot of challenges, especially when it has to do with youth-led organizations. And operation from the level sometimes not truly welcoming, and we feel going in there we might not be making an impact and stuff like that. So, Mr. Sherwin, still to you. You've been working with youth. You've created a whole lot of networks around Bauchi and beyond. What is one advice that you feel? I believe we have a lot of people coming from different sectors on this call. We have people from government and non-governmental organizations. So what point of action, can you actually advise that the government and the non-governmental organization can take or adopt that will ensure that they gain acceptability and at the communities where they are implementing or the country as a whole? What are those advice you can give them? What are those points of actions you can actually spell out for them so that we'll be celebrating a better Youth Day by next year, where we will say that to an extent, the SDGs have been localized and people are actually aligning to it and it's actually working. So what are those advice you can actually give to them? Over to you, Mr. Sherwin.
All right, so Pete, thank you. So to young people, I'll be saying it and I'll keep saying it. I think we should start with the streets. Let's start from the streets. Let's start with what is in the street, in your street. So what I meant is, start with your community, right? A lot of times as young people, we're waiting for somebody to come call us, give us one big contract, letter, and right, and then give us big money to start something. I think that would be the problem. So don't wait for that big grant or global recognition before you start acting. Like I said, is identify one SDG related challenge in your immediate community on your street. Is it that the school routes are unsafe? Is it the boreholes, what that is broken? All right. Is it misinformation, disinformation? Is it that there are people are not taking anything? You take action. Visibility and credibility grow when your community sees consistency and your small wins. So start small. For government, government needs to make SDGs local and well budgeted. Enough of what we're seeing with different governments establishing SDG offices and then use that office for their own personal goals, wait for the disbursement of grants from the federal, right? And then, no. We need to take it seriously because SDGs being implemented, right, translates to the communities becoming better. So what do we want to see? States, governments, local governments translate these goals into states and local government development plans. Let it have very clear targets. Publish it, let young people see it, let community members see it so they can buy into it. And they don't just publish, allocate budget lines for each of these SDG priority. If you don't put budgets in them, it will not be implemented. So governments make it local, budget for it. For CSOs, I will still say it again. Let's partner and co-create. A lot of times when it comes to SDGs, we are fond of campaigning. We are campaigning. This is what SDG means. This is how SDG should be. But is there a way we can work with the communities, with the government, right, to create solutions, not just campaigns? Okay, so it's funny the way things are going in our communities. When, for instance, the office of the Minister of Women Affairs wants to do something in respect to gender equality, and then we are mobilizing CSOs and women groups for rallies. No. Let's stop campaigning. We have done too much campaigns. All these years we have been doing a lot of campaigns on the SDGs. We have 5 more years to go. We should start doing solutions. Let's start talking about solutions. Let's start talking about actions. That's what I personally think for as point of actions for the youth, the government, and the civil society organizations. Thank you, Faith.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sherwin. Just like you said, let's stop campaigning, or let's do less of the campaigning and do more of the action. So, Mr. Nicholas, investing in youth development and empowerment, I believe, is very crucial for us to achieve be it the SDGs or to ensure that things are actually moving moving well. So why do you think investing in youth development and empowerment is actually crucial?
Okay,
Mr. Nicholas.
yes, thank you, Faith. Very, very crucial. Why it's crucial is this. I'll tell you that the highest, the largest population of youth, population in our country, in the whole world entirely, is the youth between 15 to 24. And so, and you now realize that, and these are people that are not being prioritized by the government. And so imagine focusing on that population, prioritizing the needs of that single population. And it is because we don't know who we are as well. Because we will be able to prioritize what belongs to, that demographic will be able to prioritize what belongs to them or their needs. And so by, participating fully in governance processes and all of that and begin to, ascend positions, some of these positions and begin to prioritize their needs. And so there's going to be an economic balance when you focus and when you build the capacity in the youth. There's going to be an economic balance. There are a lot to achieve. Like, look at it today. Today is 12th of August, and it is called the International Youth Day. But have you noticed that no government from whether national or subnational is paying attention to this day? It's about the youth, so let them do their thing. Right? So they're not paying attention to us. And it's funny how our youth celebrate their oppressors instead of condemning what is really, really bad. It's funny. And so it's, you will see youth are naturally innovators. They are drivers of change. And so when you focus on them, there's going to be youth empowerment. And when you empower the youth, it reduces poverty. The youth will pay tax. And you use the tax to what? To develop the communities where the youth is coming from. It's just, it turns around, it's just a ripple effect, right? So when you empower me and you come back to demand from me, I think I should be able to give back for you to resolve issues that you want to resolve within our communities, right? And so, the youth drive a sustainable lifestyle and intergenerational change. So when you empower the youth, we'll be able to resolve so much. We'll be able to achieve the SDGs that we're talking about. And so it's very crucial. I agree with you. And so if the government don't prioritize, what concerns the youth, then when we're very far from achieving the SDGs, the sustainable goals that we're talking about. So youth activities is poorly looked into. So it's very funny that this is where we are. And so without strategic investment in youth development and empowerment, through quality education, life skill, like I mentioned, agriculture, health, then we are very far from. Then wash again, even, yes, water and sanitation. So it's very crucial. It is very important that we pay attention to the youth, so that we're able to achieve the SDGs. And so it's very, very important. So like I said, it will bring economic balance to our country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nicholas. From our participants, I believe we have a few questions to ask our panelists. So if you have a question for the panelists, this is the right time for you to ask your question. You can just do well. So just raise your hand and we'll call your name to ask the question. So the floor is open to our participants. Okay, Mrs. Jennifer. Jennifer. You can ask your question now.
Can you try to unmute now?
All right, thank you very much. I was trying to signal you to unmute me. Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I joined on behalf of Sheon Justin, and I'm very, very blessed to have joined because I've learned so much. Coincidentally,
Jennifer.
Can you hear me?
Jennifer.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, go ahead.
All right. So this morning I was actually thinking of something. I was working on a particular project on climate change, and I was sending the proposal to my friend in Zambia. And as soon as I did that, I heard Sheun say, form coalitions, don't do things alone, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, this was a program I was supposed to tune into and not just to show support. I really learned so much and I really want to thank you. I don't have a question, but I have a contribution. You said we should always do things one step at a time. We don't have to wait for grants. We don't have to wait for the government. We don't have to wait for people to say, take this money and do something. Enough of advocacy, enough of noise making on the internet. We need to take steps. And today, my organization, Jubrama Women and Children Initiative, JUWASI, we're actually going to a village. I'm even on my way right now to give a sewing machine to a lady that we have trained in tailoring. So she had a whole year of training. There were 6 of them from that community, but she was consistent. When everybody stopped going, she continued for a whole year. And then I enrolled her in another higher fashion school for 1 year internship. Today, we are going to deliver a brand new sewing machine to her. I am not saying this for anybody to clap. Thank you for clapping. But this is to spur us to action. We have to do beyond just advocacies and talking and talking and talking. Today, I will give her one machine. In the next 2 months, I may encourage her to start teaching other people how to sew in that community. They may sew and another NGO may come and say, these people gave one machine. Okay, let's also donate one machine. I can also decide to reach out to my friends and say, I was able to buy one machine. You guys come, let's do this together. 5 more girls have learned, 2 more girls have learned, and then you see the multiplication effect of empowerment. So we must stop talking too much. Let's do the do. It doesn't have to be a whole sewing machine of 700,000. It can just be like wash projects. In your neighborhood, the place that the children gather to play, you can do a hand washing, whatever there for them. It's still progressive progress. It's still something. And I just pray that this program, as much as it touched me, because really I'm so happy I joined, because now I feel, yes, I've been doing so much, but I will keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm just encouraging us to continue or to start doing more than just talking. Let's just do more. Like, last year, we graduated 131 children from JSS 3. 131 of them are in SS1 now. They are still under our scholarship. I don't have to sponsor 1,000 children to do something. These 131 children, you cannot even tell me their destinies will still be the same. We are not just paying their school fees. We are teaching them other psychomotor skills. We are teaching them other entrepreneurial skills. If you see my children act drama here, you would think that they have been going through one serious training or something. So I'm just trying to give us examples, practical examples of how we can make change, how we can bring about change. These 131 children, not all of them will grow and be whatever. But if only 100 of them will grow and remember that an organization called JUWASI picked us up when we had dropped out of school and put us back to school, trained us in theater, trained us in art. If you see my children speak, they even speak better than me. They will stand and be vibrating on the microphone. I'll be like, wow. Sometimes I just cry. So let's do work, and may God just help us. May our blessings be right here on earth and also in heaven. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Jennifer. It's good to hear from you again.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much. I don't know if we have others that also have contributions.
Okay, I'm seeing 3 hands up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Elizabeth Adams. Go ahead, Ma.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so very much for such a powerful session. I hope I can be heard.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you. I'm Elizabeth, and I'm very delighted to have joined this session today. I love that in a world where the Nigerian youths are beginning to have, because on the global stage sometimes we get quite a number of sad reports about the youths. I'm excited to see initiatives like this who come across to empower youth and give them voices to know that more can be done, and can be done even at grassroots levels where they are able to do things. So it is a delight to see. In addition to that, I'm also very excited that the SDGs are being talked about now, because it's a very key thing for all of us right now. The moment we are able to narrow down what we do at grassroots level, I work with a community of persons with disabilities. I also lead educational initiatives, empowering teachers across Nigeria, and also students with disabilities who need to do things. So that's basically what I do. So I just want to commend everyone that has spoken today. I want to say thank you very much for such a value-oriented and seriously important topic that has been brought to our hearing. Well done. Thank you. Thank you very much for this value that you brought to us. Have a nice time.
Thank you, Lizzie. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ma. I can see Mr. Musa Samuel. You can go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
It's very nice for me to meet you and to be part of this interesting program. It's very, very rich and educating. To my boss, Mr. Sheun, it's a pleasure, sir, to be part of this program. It's very educating, as I said earlier. In my community, actually, we have a lot of programs that we have put in place in order to bring us to achieve a sustainable goal. But actually, we have a little bit challenges of which I just want to share. Maybe if I can be able to have some positive response that can help. Number one challenge we have is because based on the community we are coming from, we have different faith, different people are coming from different faith, different ethnicity. So the challenge we have here is once we come up with a program that will be able to make sure that the youth can be able to stand or be creative in one way or the other, so that at the end of the day, we will have every reason to say, yes, we have achieved these sustainable goals. So the problem we have is most especially when we come up with a program like this, the cooperation from different faiths and different ethnic group. We lack this cooperation, and again, our maybe let's say our traditional leaders, I think the religious leaders again. Sometimes the challenge we normally have with them, once we come up with a program like this, they will not support us fully because they may think like at the end of the program, because we have a series of religious crises in our community or in our area like that. So once we say we'll gather maybe 100 or more than 100 people, most especially people that has to do with youth or program that has to do with youth, they are very, very much afraid of supporting us to come and discuss about this. I don't know what will happen if we keep on having this mentality in us, because we organized a series of programs now almost 4 times now. This program has not been held. Why? Because we're having a challenge from our leaders. That's the community leaders, be it tradition and the religious leaders. The challenge we normally have is we lack support from them. And we want to do something tangible that at the end of the day, it will yield us a positive outcome. But actually, this is our problem. Please, I don't know if you have 1 or 2 ideas you can share with us so that we can maybe follow this idea to see how we can be able to continue with this proposal we have at hand. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I don't know if Mr. Nicholas will attempt to respond to this. You're muted, sir.
Yes, sorry. He said having religious and the traditional and religious leaders having issue. I didn't get that part very well. What is the problem that they are having? Because I was trying to change position. So I didn't get that part.
Okay, so I think it's a form of mistrust. The community don't want anything that brings young people together. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, sir. The community are always afraid of any event or activity that will bring any youth together because of this, the past challenges or because of the past experiences we have in our community. The past experiences is result to a crisis, or I can say violence that has occurred in the past few years or months. So once you bring a proposal that the activity has to do with youth, they are much afraid of approving that particular proposal.
Okay, so thank you so very much. I will say that you need to change strategy. Changing strategy in the sense that you need to carry everyone along from the planning stage. You need to start by carrying everyone along by involving those traditional and religious leaders in your community. So get them involved, pay advocacy to them, and sensitize them. And sensitize them on what you want to do, right? So when you carry them along and they understand what the program or project you are bringing into that community, they'll be able to buy in. So, but when you want to force it into their throat, that is when you begin to have issues with them. And I want to believe that there are people we call, influencers who you can speak to, and they'll be able to speak to these persons that are against such maybe beautiful programs and events that are coming to town. So please change strategy, involve everyone, involve the influencers, gatekeepers, know who knows them, who can speak to convince them, then you begin to carry them along. Please don't do anything in isolation. Do not think that, okay, because we are youth and this is what belongs to us and we need to do it on ourselves.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Nicholas, for that response. Mr. Okay, so I can see Precious Alfred. You can go on, Ma. Mr. Precious Alfred. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my name is Precious Ojonya Alfred from Ash Foundation. I want to appreciate the whole team for this wonderful presentation. It was really a mind-blowing one for me. And I have a question related to what the last speaker just said. You know, engaging youth is one of our passion at Ash Foundation, with most of our program engaging youth, ignite youth and our potential. But recently, we're noticing that the female aspect, that is the teenagers, the female, are not forthcoming. So I don't know if it's the strategy or the methodology we're using and the call. Because the last time we faced a call for the application on Ignite Potential, we noticed that the male are more plenty than the female. And we want it to see that the women are also carried along. We want that inclusion. We want to see the female do it, not just the male. So I don't know if that's a way of how we can make the women see they can also do it, what the men can do, not competing with them, but at least show the potential they have. So that's my question.
All right. Thank you so much, Precious. So generally, like I say, context matters. There are some situations in this part of the country we belong to where when you make a call for applications or you want to engage people, you struggle to get females. But that is changing. Many years ago, we discovered that myself, Mr. Nicholas Dugara, and some few friends. And then we decided that we want to change that tide in Bauchi, Gombe, and Taraba State. So where we were, and Yobe State where we're working. So we intentionally began to mentor young women. And today I'm glad to mention that among our core and trusted individuals, our colleagues, are females. This was a deliberate attempt. So it's a way of responding to that gap. And if I'm to respond to you, I also encourage you to consider doing that. Is that fine? Let's see how we mentor more young women. We understand that the tides always work against that in our communities. You're looking for women that are educated. You're making phone calls for people to employ in some communities, and you realize that there's no gadget in those communities. We have experienced that in one of our communities. But these things are changing over time. So I encourage you, if there are ways we can keep doing that, let's push up. Some other ways is to walk through contacts or referrals. So if you're having programs and you want to engage more women, referrals. So you talk to call women in the communities, and when you meet them in the communities, you can ask them, can you recommend certain women for this kind of event, for that event, for that event? You get more women participating in your event. I think what we need to do is to deepen the capital base, right, of women, right, so that we can have more women represented in all of our programs. Let's see how we can effectively work on that. Sometimes when you're writing to organizations, we also tell them, if you're recommending anybody to participate, make sure that so number are females and so numbers are males. So these are different initiatives to bring up the agency out of women. Is that fine, Precious? All right, thank you so much, everyone. Sonny, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Sharon. We have few questions there in the chat. So I will just read through few and maybe we'll get responses from you and Mr. Nicholas. So Mr. James Mbani asked the question. This is a thing of concern, honestly. Today is International Youth Day, but government is not showing any concern. My question is that, how do we make the government understand that for a country to progress positively, we need each other?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Okay, so let me take it again. I said a question from Mr. James Mbani. He said,
Okay.
this is a thing of concern, honestly.
Today is International Youth Day, but the government is not showing any concern. My question is that, how do we make the government understand that for a country to progress positively, we need each other? And the second part of the question says, who is at fault that the government feels the youth amounts to nothing to when it comes to governance?
Okay. Mr. Nix, do you want to answer?
Okay, yeah, so thank you. I'm so sorry, I'm using a different device. I had little itches on my other device. So thank you. So I think as youths, we need to make ourselves relevant. We need to make ourselves well positioned to see that we are being prioritized, our needs are being prioritized. Whose fault that we're not being recognized, no state, even at the local and the international level. It's like I said, they know our capacity, they know our capability, they know that nothing will happen and nobody will talk about it. And so they know that we praise them even when they are hurting us. And so they know that whatever they do, we forget in the next 3 months, right? So we don't keep talking, we will not keep talking about it. Okay, so apart from the civil society organization that are organizing programs here and there on radio, on TV, holding, Zoom webinar and all of that, how many of us have tweeted about the program today? For so many of us that are asking the same question, how many of us have even tweeted or having gone on our X to make posts? How many of us have written about the youth or the contribution of youth or how we'll be able to strategize and to come about winning the next election on Facebook or Instagram or that? So they know the cost. There are issues. Today we're talking about the issue that happened at the airport. They know that one will stay with us for weeks. And so we are bothering ourselves with what happened or what not happened. We have social media Anthony now, the lawyers are judging either the passenger or the air crew, so many. And so that is where they realize already that one will sustain us for some weeks, not asking genuine and strategic questions. And so they understand already that this is our voice. And so we are not united to speak with one voice, because if the South, I look at the issue of the NSAS. From the North here, we were using religious to talk to ourselves that, we don't need to join them and all of that. And the government still came back to sponsor some youth to cause confusion, even at in a way, to those people that are fighting a just cause. And so it is, I won't blame, I'm not casting blame on anybody now. So, but we need to reposition ourselves so that we'll be able to be, because we send them there, right? So that they would know that, yes, we are the one that are controlling the government, not the government controlling the youth. So I think by and large, this is what I'll just share there. And sorry about the other lady that asked a question. What I wanted to share concerning when you are organizing a program and you begin to see women coming, you have more of the men than the women. This is a patriarchal world that we're living in, and we're trying to disabuse the mind of people that it shouldn't continue this way. I will just share very, very few examples. I want to mention some persons' names. They strategically understand what they are doing, maybe not, but this is how I'll be following them. These are 2 staff from YLN, Charity and Noadia, who are passionate and they are intentionally mentoring some young girls, some young adolescent ladies, right? And so those girls are growing. And so right now, they are involving themselves in one or two things, in activities on this cycle and all of that. And so I want to ask you specifically, the lady that asked that question, you might not provide the response here, but how many girls are you mentoring under you? Because it's all about mentorship. Tomorrow, when you are looking for people to invite, these are the first person that you will contact. So please, let's imbibe the idea of mentorship, because bequeathing to the younger ones, it's very, very necessary. So thank you. Hello, Faith, are we still together?
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I just experienced a network challenge. Sorry about that.
All right, you're welcome.
Yeah. So I believe Mr. Nicholas have answered the question and did justice to the answer. I think with this, we have actually come to the end of this webinar, but then before we call it a day, I would like Mr. Sherwin and to just say a few words to us, and also Mr. Nicholas. So over to you, Mr. Sherwin.
Thank you so much, Sonny. It's been a great pleasure to be part of this discussion. It's a learning that is two-way. As you are sharing, I'm also learning, and as I'm also talking, I'm also learning again. So I want to just encourage you that as we leave here, let's reduce the plenty campaigns. Let's take actions. And those actions can be little actions that we can take in our communities. So as you live here, please start something small from your street. Thank you.
Okay, so for me, thank you so very much for being part of this wonderful event. Just know that you are not just the leaders of tomorrow, you are the change maker of today. Your energy, creativity, and courage are the fuel that can turn the Sustainable Development Goals from words on paper into reality in our communities. And so I will urge us not to wait for permission to make a difference, but we all need to start now, right? So start with what you have and with the people around you, just like Sheon mentioned, coming together, it's huge. And let's remember that the world will not change simply because we talk about it. It will change because you decide to act. So please, let's lead, let's innovate, and let's our voice be heard, and our action shapes the futures that we all deserve. Thank you so very much, everyone.
Thank you very much, Ms. and Mr. Sharon. Thank you very much to Young Leaders Network, Initiative, Samani for Women Initiative, our day, and happy International Youth Day from my end. Bye-bye, and thank you.
Nigeria, we are the future.
We are the future. We are the dream. We are the nation. We are part of this. Yes, we are so amazing. That's the least we shall be. At the heart of the nation, changing history. How can they say that we are finished? We have just begun. When we have nowhere else to run to, we have nowhere else to go. So get out of the way of the land of our dreams. We are the nation, we are part of this. Oh, oh. We are the nation, we are part of this. Whoa, carry the sun, carry the sound. special